welcome to Tabletop CP. Today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to winterize a tank, primarily using the hairspray method. Okay, so first of all, the hairspray method is not my method. It's not even a new method. It's a pretty standard method, primarily with scale modelers and 135 scale and bigger stuff like that. I haven't seen any hobby videos or wargaming videos from our little corner of YouTube that shows how to do it. And I've gotten some questions on how I did it after I showed my last tank that I had done, so I thought I would throw out a little video just showing how I do it. So the first thing you're going to need is a fully painted tank, truck, whatever it is that you want to winterize. So here we have an M10. This is the Warlord M10 156 scale. And I have painted it up, weathered it, put all the decals on, everything. The only thing I haven't finished is the crew. I was about to finish them, then I realized when I do the weathering or the whitewash part of it that it's probably some of it's going to get on them. So after I'm completely done with the tank model, I will go back and paint the crew. After you're done painting the tank, you're going to want to hit it with some matte varnish. I put a couple of coats on it, and that is to protect the paint underneath. And the idea behind the hairspray is that it's water soluble. So you put some hairspray on it after you varnish it, and then we're going to paint it white. And then we're going to use a toothbrush and we're going to scrape off or brush off some of the white to leave the paint underneath. And the matte varnish will protect it, and the water soluble nature of the hairspray will allow the paint on top of the hairspray to be removed with some water. So here we are out behind the Nerd Cave, and I'm going to be doing the hairspray now. So I'm just using this brand here. Got it from my mom. Any brand I believe will do. I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference. Make sure you ask before you take anyone's hairspray. And I'm just going to hit it with a couple of coats. So same as you would if you're priming something or just doing a varnish. Just going to go around the tank, hit it with the hairspray. And super easy, not much to it. I'll let it dry and then I'll hit it with another coat of hairspray. Alright, so the hairspray is now dry. And the next step is to get the airbrush out, or don't use spray paint, you want to use regular paint. So I'm going to use the airbrush and I'm going to just spray some white over it. So I'll probably try to go around most of the decals, as they would have tried to leave those exposed for identification purposes. But the rest of it I'm just going to do a light coat of white paint with the airbrush. So wish me luck, as me and this airbrush, we have a complicated history with each other. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And today is looking like a day like it might not be working. Alright, here we go. So let's just try this. And it's sort of working. It'll get the job done. Alright, so we're done with the whitewash. We made it through with the airbrush, barely. A little bit of splattering you can see on here, but not too bad. But that's what it looks like now with the whitewash. Probably just leave it like this if you really wanted to represent a new whitewash. But we want to do sort of a worn whitewash look. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our toothbrush, and we're going to get our cup of water, and we are going to start removing the whitewash to expose the green paint underneath. So you just dip the toothbrush in the water and you start removing. So I'm going to start removing it in places where it would get worn, like on the fenders here. So we're going to start with this front fender. And it takes a little bit of a few times, and you don't want to do it too much, too fast, but you can see that it is now starting to show through the green paint underneath. It adds some chipping like effects, so you can see that there on the front fender. I'll do this other fender. There it goes. And once it starts going, it goes pretty quick. So unless you want to really have a really very worn whitewash look, don't do it too fast. But once you see it start chipping, slow down a little bit. This part here looks like it would probably be worn. Anywhere where it's going to get hit when it's driving through bushes and stuff like that, you want to start pulling it. Under here, probably. Do a little bit on the front. Sometimes you can just do these little swirls on these big flat parts. See that starting to remove it there. A little bit more. So really it just depends on how worn you want this thing to look, is how much you're going to do. So anything that sticks up probably would be worn. Sharp edges would have some wear on them. There we go. So I was going to try doing some just downward strokes with this. See if I get maybe a streak effect as well as the wear. I don't know if that'll work. I've never done it. I guess we'll find out right now. Okay, see it's starting to come off now. So I want to slow down. I do want to get it around the star a little bit more. These parts here will definitely be worn. I think these are supposed to be tracks, but they extra tracks. But they're not really to scale with the tracks that are on the tank, so maybe they're not. I don't know. Yep, there it goes. Super simple technique. See, I went through a lot of it, a lot more there than I wanted to. That's okay though, it doesn't have to be all even across the whole tank. It's going to wear off in different places at different rates. I guess the streaking thing, that kind of works. And every now and then just get some more water on your brush, and that activates that water soluble part of the hairspray, which will allow you to pull some of the whitewash off. Yeah, took a little bit too much off there, a little bit more than I wanted. Oh, yeah, see, I just took a bunch off there. So that if you don't want any more to come off than you want to, go very slow, because this stuff will come off pretty quick. But once you're done brushing and it dries off, it'll stay on there. You don't have to worry about it coming off. Unless you're in the habit of dipping your models in water, it should be fine. Probably around the engine deck would be sort of clear of that. Some of this back area here where the tools are. I'm assuming they would have just left the tools on when they did the whitewash. Try to get right around the turret ring here. Alright, let's hope, oh damn, see how quick that comes off? Look at that. I had some water sitting on that spot, and then I put the brush on it and it started coming off immediately. Yeah, I don't want to do too much. That might be too much already, but it is what it is. At least it's got that whitewash effect on there. So for the turret, we'll just do the same thing. Try to make it match the level of chippiness on the hull. Again, any sharp edges are probably going to have some chipping on it. I think that's probably good. Okay, so we're done with the chipping part of it, the hairspray part of it, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of the weathering tutorial as well for the winterizing it. So we finished the chipping. I have finished the crew as well, and I've gone over everything with a dry brush of white to add a frost effect. You can see it more prominently on the crew members, but the tank itself is also has a slight frost effect to it. Next thing I want to do is I want to do a pin wash. So I did a pin wash once already. Most of that got covered up by the whitewash, and we're going to do another pin wash. Now with the normal pin wash, I'll use a Nuln oil or a dark color, and the pin wash just goes inside of areas where there would be shadow. So inside crevices, between armored plates, in the decking or the grate of the engine deck here, places like that. This pin wash is going to be a little bit different, as I want it to be a lighter color and have a slight rust effect to it. So instead of using my normal Nuln oil, I'm going to use a little bit of this Reikland Flesh Shade and an orange wash. Oh, well, this is yellow, but I have an orange one. So I'll take some of this and I'll add just a little bit of the orange into it, and that makes a really nice effect against the white, as opposed to just putting more Nuln oil on it, and it gives a little bit more of a worn effect as well. So I'll mix these together, I'll do the pin wash, and then we'll be back. Alright, so I've done the pin wash. I kind of want to call it a reverse pin wash. Normally pin washes are darker to fill in the recesses, but it's sort of a dark vehicle, and the weird contrast between the whitewash and the dark green. I just went with this pin wash. So I used this Fuegan orange and mixed in with some Reikland Flesh Shade. So you can see it kind of gives a very worn, slightly rusty look. So this thing's been out in the field for a while. I've also added some streaking grime. It's a Vallejo streaking grime, very light, just to add a little bit more weathering to it. So there's the tank now. And there's only one step left, and that is to add some actual snow to it. Well, not actual snow, but actual hobby snow. And I'm going to use this ground texture snow from Vallejo. This stuff's really nice. And it's real simple. You just get an old brush and pull out some of the snow and just start putting it on. So I'm going to put a lot on the tracks. Oh, I forgot to do the tracks. Okay, I forgot to hit the tracks with the wash as well, but I'll do that real quick, and then I'll come back and do the snow. Alright, so now I'll just grab a little bit of the snow out. And just a little tip, if you want to get snow, they sell it in about a quarter size of this. as well, which is almost the same price if you buy this one, and it's the same exact thing just for a lot less. So if you're gonna get snow, get that big bottle. It's a lot cheaper. So anyway, yeah, so I'm just gonna hit snow. So I'm gonna do the tracks underneath here, under the hole, and then I'll also put a little bit of snow on top in various places, maybe where they would step to get up there. That you can put it anywhere, as much or as little as you want. And I'll just start applying the snow. And then the last step is I'm going to add a little bit of this snow powder onto it. This stuff's pretty nice. It's got a little bit of a sparkle to it, a little bit of glisten, so it looks like a little bit of fresh snow has fallen. And I will just try to sprinkle that onto wherever I put that snow paste. And even after that snow paste dries, this stuff will leave a little bit of sparkle, which gives it sort of a fresh snow, more realistic look than just the paste. Paste is fine, but if you really want to make it look realistic, I would add some of this stuff to it. Go. Just like that. And that does it. There it is, the completed M10 tank destroyer, winterized. So that's how you do the hairspray method. It's pretty easy. There's really not much to it. Like I said, it's not my method. It's a well-known method among scale modelers. I don't know how well known it is among the gaming crowd, but hopefully this video will help get that technique out there. And it can be used for other stuff as well. It doesn't have to just be winter stuff. It could be used for normal chipping or however you want to do it. So it's just limited by your imagination. So this thing is going to go in with the rest of my Winter American Army, which is getting quite large now, and I'll probably do a video on that soon just to show that off, as I think I'm getting close to being done with it. So anyway, hopefully you guys find this video useful. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.